What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman. Now, Shang-Chi has been back on set and filming for quite some time now, one of the very first Marvel productions to get underway down under, recently moving the venue from Australia to San Francisco, where there's been a ton of set footage leaking out of car chase scenes. And of course, we've been talking about leaks and rumors since the beginning of this film's announcement at San Diego Comic-Con 2019, which have all included this tournament structure film. And now recently, an anonymous plot leak from none other than 4chan has apparently revealed the entire tournament bracket. We're going to break it down, read through it word for word, of course annotate it where necessary, and issue the normal spoiler warning. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button, we're still giving away this insane 1/4 scale XM Studios Beta Ray Bill and our third and final Infinity Saga box set. And because we finally hit 700,000 subscribers last night, and I cannot thank you guys enough from the bottom of my heart, we'll be announcing the winners of the two PlayStation 4 Pros at the end of this video. So first up, the normal customary spoiler warning. When anything anonymous comes up at the channel, remember to take everything that doesn't directly come from Marvel Studios with a grain of salt. In the past, sometimes these anonymous 4chan leaks have been right and very correct. So take it both ways, both sides of the coin. And if this is in any way going to ruin your Shang-Chi or Marvel Phase 4 experience, you know yourself better than others if you're susceptible to this kind of thing, which definitely begs the question as to why you clicked on this video in the first place. Either way, you've now been sufficiently warned. As well as, guys, don't go looking for 4chan leaks on 4chan. That site is not safe. They're usually resourced by the time we post these videos on Reddit, and in this instance, we'll even source the text in an original overlay. Either way, if you want to read it for yourself, look for these on Reddit. 4chan is not a safe site. It starts by saying, I have limited knowledge about the plot of Shang-Chi. Goes on to say, tournament is 16 people. Obviously, Shang-Chi and Fa Lo Su are both in the tournament. Mandarin stacks the deck in his favor so he can be sure to win the rings. Spiral, a 6-armed mutant, doesn't get a lot of backstory dedicated to her, and of course we know her from a lot of the animated cartoons in the early 90s. Baron Mordo, the hangover from Doctor Strange 1, he doesn't actually fight in the tournament because Wong takes him out, but he wanted the 10 rings to help rid the world of sorcerers. His place in the tournament is taken by Clive Reston, who is eliminated and captured by the Mandarin. That's a sort of twist though. Wong sticks around to guide Shang longer than you'd think. Batroc the Leaper, unclear who he is working for, but definitely a hired gun. Him and Omega Red have a fun dynamic like buddy cops. That's hard for me to imagine, but we've already seen pictures of Batroc the Leaper confirming he'll be back in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, so it's not a surprise that he'll hang over for Shang-Chi, which will be coming out shortly after the Falcon and the Winter Soldier's release. Omega Red, needless explanation, seeks the 10 rings for Russia. Also, heavy rumors of Omega Red's involvement with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier as well, and if they're both going to be connected in that show, not a surprise they both would be entering the tournament. T-Ray, some C-list Deadpool character who can teleport, who gets weirdly a huge amount of focus before defeated by Shang-Chi. Maybe that's just because they want to build him up if that's who Shang-Chi will be facing in the tournament. A Black Widow named Felicia, not really a character. Wonder if will be introduced during Black Widow's solo film. Also pretty interesting considering a lot of these characters are coming from films and TV shows that show up before Shang-Chi. WizKid, some kind of techno mutant. Mutant, you say? I wonder if the guy writing this just wrote that because he thinks of him as a mutant, or he was originally. Not sure they're going to have explained mutants by the time we get to Shang-Chi. Develops a good friendship with Shang. Fali demolishes him. White Claw, a Native American warrior. Danica, a female Asgardian who has been sent by Valkyrie to investigate and compete in the tournament. She is killed by Omega Red. Now, of course, again, remember, right after the prologue, I reminded you guys, you always want to take all of this with a grain of salt. It was posted anonymously, but pretending this is fictional and just something someone wrote, they definitely would have done a ton of research and backstory to connect all of these characters to what's coming up in all of the movies circulating in the earlier part of Marvel Phase 4. That sounds like something Marvel Studios would do, and for me, that sort of makes me curious as to the actual credibility of this leak, in a good way though, thinking that maybe there is some truth to this. Avok, a vampire who is the funniest character in the entire movie, takes out Omega Red due to not having any life force to drain. That's interesting on 2 points. First of which, how Omega Red's power set might work in the MCU, and of course remembering that no matter how powerful someone is, there's maybe always another mutant and or character that can trump them in some sort of way. And then second fold, having vampires in the MCU. If this is a confirmation before we get Blade, well, we already know they're going to be there. Blade has to have vampires to fight against, but it would be very interesting having this introduction and or confirmation of vampires in the MCU years before we get a Blade film, after Korg basically teased them in Thor Ragnarok, even though that was really just an homage to his earlier movie, What We Do in the Shadows. He goes on by finishing this league with, there are 4 other just martial artists who may or may not be named. I've seen them have various different names and genders and ages at different points in the script. One of them was originally an old man who was really disciplined and was a lesson from Mandarin to Shang, but most recent draft I saw that was cut. Quick additional spoiler warning here, if you want to back out from the video, this last paragraph talks about how the movie ends. Again, if that's any problem for you, I'll let you back out in 3, 2, 1. As you can guess, it comes down to Shang and Fa Lo Su at the end. Shang defeats her and wins the 10 rings. Bang Foom is accidentally unleashed. Mandarin, Fa, and Shang defeat him together. Fa and Shang defeat the Mandarin. Now, one thing I'd like to point out after we went over the entirety of this is it literally started with, I have limited knowledge about Shang-Chi, and then went ahead and outlined every character in the movie and gave us the ending as well. I'm going to take that ending with a grain of salt, a big one, but it is very interesting, like I said, to see the connections to all of these characters who would be showing up all around the earlier parts of Marvel Phase 4, and then see them come together in a tournament structure. Now, I haven't had a chance to weigh in on this real recently, but there are definitely a couple schools of thoughts and people who have weighed in over the last year or so and said there are certain international markets that don't like tournament films, even though they'll be nostalgic and feel good for an American market who really hasn't had any tournament films since, I don't know, the late 80s. That's not something other international markets like at all. It'll be interesting to see if there's any truth or validity to this. I sort of ignored them with the earliest plot leaks we've gotten, but guys, we've been covering this seriously for almost a year or over a year now, and all of the leaks have always talked about a tournament. Maybe it's all of them just coming from the initial leak, and there's no way of knowing, again, if there's any validity to this tournament roster. So you guys let me know if they didn't mention someone you think should be included from the already existing MCU, or any other characters you think are important to Shang-Chi's backstory. I am all ears. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this in the film in general. Now quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff, including the winners of the 2 700,000 PlayStation 4 Pros. Guys, it is insane to think that we are still under 3 years old and we just hit 700,000 subscribers. I cannot thank each and every one of you enough for all of your support here over the last couple of years, your interaction, the community that we've built. I am so thankful for each and every one of you, and my promise to you over the next couple of years as we start to get back to actual Marvel releases is that I will do my best to always stay on top of everything that we find interesting as a fan base and cover it with as much unbiased as possible. Now, without much further ado, the 2 winners picked randomly for the PlayStation 4 Pros for the 700,000 giveaway are Sean Jackson for the comment, "Can't wait, I've never won anything." Well, now you have, and Cody Irvin for "So cool, we can see this," regarding the Spider-Man audition tape. Email me on my business email. You can find that on the About section of the YouTube channel, or DM me on Instagram at IamFires. We have a verification process we'll go through and then have these shipped directly out to you guys. Now, we're still running some awesome giveaways this year. At 750,000 subscribers, which we should hit by the end of the year, we're going to give away this XM Studios 1/4 scale Beta Ray Bill, and we're still giving away our 3rd and final Infinity Saga box set, which we'll give away in December regardless of the subscriber count. If you want to be entered to win, all the same rules always applies here at the channel. Hit the subscribe button to make sure you're a subscriber, then hit the notification bell with notifications turned on to keep up with the videos. Leave a like and a comment on this video, and because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of the videos the same way we did here today, and if you've missed any of the previous winners, no worries. All you have to do, scroll back to the channel, look for winner announcement and the sub count in the title, click on that video and scroll to the end. My name's Michael Roman. This is Everything Always, guys. Thanks so much for checking out the channel, and stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.